I want to tell you that beyond the Palestinians, there was a guiding hand for all that is going on right now. A guiding hand, and I want you to remember that. And that guiding hand is not in Ramallah, and it's not in Gaza, and it's not anywhere but in Tehran. The Iranians are the guiding hands. The Iranian, we know that, by the way. I've reported that many times. Iran understands that Iran cannot attack Israel from the outside, so Iran figured we'll attack Israel from the inside. We'll give orders to the Islamic Jihad, to Hamas, and others to start rioting from within Israel and from the Palestinian area, and that's how Israel is going to suffer. Now, I want you to know another thing you may not know. Elections are not only in the Palestinian Authority, but it's also in Iran. There are elections in Iran, and it's coming up very soon. And in Iran, nobody in the leadership loves Israel, but they're divided between the moderate, those who will kill less, and the very hardliners, the harshliners, which are the real bad guys, and that's the Revolutionary Guards and the Ayatollahs and Ahmadinejad and all of them. And so each wants to pull the strings, each wants to show his strength, each wants to show that he's able to embarrass Israel, and embarrassing Israel it's what unifies everyone there. So the elections in Iran are also playing a very significant role here. They want to flex their muscles all across the Middle East, and they bank on a U.S. administration that will allow them to do that. And sure they do. And now I want you also to understand that not only Israel celebrates Jerusalem Day. Did you know that there is a Jerusalem Day celebrated in the last week of the Ramadan in Tehran and all across Iran every year? There's the Iranian Jerusalem Day. But what is the Jerusalem Day in Iran? This is the Jerusalem Day in Iran. Burning American flags and burning Israeli flags and showing the world, there you go, that's a Jerusalem Day. And that's a day where they are pledging to take Jerusalem back. So you look at this convergence. Iranian Jerusalem Day, Israeli Jerusalem Day, Ramadan. Those ones to, show the elections for their people, the other ones to win the elections for the others. Everyone is busy, and this is the perfect storm. Perfect storm. Now, I think I told you, if I'm not mistaken, that the Hamas was planning all of that for a long time, but Israel couldn't just go and bomb Hamas out of the blue. We needed an excuse to do that. We couldn't just, do that. So those 5 rockets that Hamas shot were enough for us to do what we haven't done for a long time. Now, if you're following me on Telegram, every day in the last few days, I send videos and photos and information. We've so far destroyed 3 high-rises, and there's about 7 more to fall. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why are you destroying high-rises? Well, it's because A, they owned by either the entire building owned by Hamas, or the lowest part is used by Hamas for their operational activity, and they bank on, if we are there, nobody's going to hit it. Well, guess what? Israel has an interesting thing. It's called knocking on the roof. Israeli F-16 is sending a tiny little rocket that is not going to destroy anything, but it will create a big boom and a little smoke, and that is called knock on the roof. We send that little missile, and we're telling the residents, leave. In fact, not only that, we take up our phone. Israeli military units of Arab-speaking soldiers call those buildings and tell the residents, leave. Unlike the Palestinians that shoot 100 rockets within 2 minutes, we tell them, leave. And once the building is evacuated, we just destroy it. Now, you're asking, why do you evacuate it? Because we believe that we want to harm Hamas's infrastructures. We will take care of the terrorists on our own way, and we sure do. Look at this. We kill them when they're in their cars, moving, running from one place to another. This is one car. There's so many. Only today we killed 20 of them, of which, take a look at there's a picture of 6 of them. They are of the top. Those on the left with the Hebrew, they are on the top list of the Hamas operative, the Hamas leaders. And I'm talking about military leaders. We killed 6 of them. And then we killed 3 more yesterday. We killed 5 more besides those 6, even today, and more and more and more. Now, the Hamas is not releasing information that is true. They're saying only 40 people got killed. And they tell you 40 people got killed, among which that's how many children and that's how many women. I want you to see a slide that the Israeli military prepared of how many rockets they launched yesterday and how many of them actually did not hit the target, but actually fell within Gaza. 200 of the 1,000 rockets yesterday fell within Gaza Strip and killed Palestinian children and women and men in their homes. I mean, they launched a rocket, it fails to fly, and it just falls on the head of their own people. They hide it from the people. Thankfully, in Gaza, there are still some human rights organizations that release information without Hamas knowing. And we know that because we detect every launch. And when we see that there was no falling anywhere in Israel, we know it had to have fallen inside.